Today we will be talking about atoms, moles, and molecules. Our first example will begin with chlorine. Say if we had 3.50 grams of chlorine, how many moles would we get? So the first step, what you would want to do is, because this is in grams, you'd want to take the grams or the mass of the original element. So we would put 3545 grams of chlorine at the bottom to cancel out grams to grams, and that equals 1 mole of chlorine. And this would be you would want to take 3.50 divided by 35.45, and you would get 0.98730.606 grams of chlorine. But because the original where we began had only 3 sig figs, you would want to put your answer in 3 sig figs. So now it would be 0.0987 grams of chlorine. Our next example will be if you had, say, 3.6 moles of O2. For this, you would want to put 1 mole of O2 at the bottom to get grams. And for oxygen, it's 15.999 times, not 3, 2, because you have 2 molecules of oxygen. So this would equal this would equal 928 grams of O2. And just like the first example, you would want 2 sig figs. So for this, we have to do, so it would be 1. Then our next, for these examples, it was grams to moles, or moles to grams. Our next example will be converting 4.5 grams of Na2. So this you would want to go for grams to moles. So you would want to cancel out grams first. And sodium is 22.99 grams. But with this instance, you have to times it by 2. And that would be 45.98 grams of sodium. Now, remember on top we do 1 mole of Na2. Our next step would be the use of Avogadro's number to convert moles to molecules. So we would put at the bottom 1 mole of Na2, and on top Avogadro's number is 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd. And this gives you molecules. Now with our next step, if you want to go to atoms, you would put there are 1 molecule of Na2, and it equals 2 atoms of Na2. Now when solving this, you want to go step by step to cancel out grams to moles to molecules to atoms. So our first part, you want to take 4.5 divided by 45.98. Then our next step is to multiply by 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd. But when you put it inside the calculator, your first step is to put it in parentheses. After you get that number, then you would want to times it by 2. This gives you 1.178729883 times 10 to the 23rd. When determining the sig figs, you want to go back to your original answer because these parts that you just converted are exact. So you would need this to determine the number of sig figs. So for this one, we would have to have 2 sig figs. So we need to put this, it would be 1.8 times 10 to the 23rd, because when you round up, you want to look for the second number, because then it's always 5 and up to round your next number. For example, like for this one, the 9 rounds up the 2 to a 3. So we have 1.8 times 10 to the 23rd atoms of Na2. Once you get the hang of it, it's not too of an issue, but it is definitely one of the funner subjects in chemistry to learn. I truly enjoy it. In high school, I definitely did enjoy this. We made a stuffed mole to, give a little fun to the subject more than it already did. Thank you.